Working Americans built this nation, and yet almost 2/3 of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Majority of Americans make lifestyle changes as gas prices hit record highs. This administration's disastrous economy shows signs of stagflation as growth wanes, and commodity prices stage the largest weekly gain ever. This affects you directly, and you're not going to see it in the store shelves today, but you will see it eventually, and once it gets there, it will stay there. Today's inflation printed at a 40-year high as soaring commodities costs hit the working poor the hardest. What have we been talking about for a long time? That inflation hurts only the wage earner, the person that actually has to labor for the money that they make in order to be able to live. So they say that it hits the working poor the hardest, who have been forced to make lifestyle changes to offset additional costs. First, let's begin with a new report from the Lending Club. It shows a staggering 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 64% of Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me if that is not a disgrace. Working Americans are those that built this nation. Working Americans built this nation, and yet almost 2/3 of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to try not to get excited. And that number is up from 61% in December. That is a huge increase in just over 3 months. As costs skyrocket, the working poor see their wages stripped away by inflation. And someone here says, you've got to eat, you've got to commute. These are not discretionary expenses. New research from Yardeni Research estimates the average household will spend this year $2,000 more on gasoline, on top of an extra $1,000 in food expenses. Adding this all up, the typical household will spend $3,000 less this year on other things. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it was the video that I put up on Thursday. I think it was on Thursday, but I put an insert in there. I'll try to find it again and put it here. That one of the goals for the Great New Deal, right? The Green New Deal, right? The Green New Deal is to get gas prices above $10 a gallon, because that will discourage consumers from purchasing gas-powered vehicles. Now, you can do with that what you may, but to me, that plan is working out perfectly to the favor of those that want to get rid of biofuels. Unfortunately, biofuels equals what? Biofuels equals everything. There is nothing that you can point at where biofuels did not have an application in producing that product or producing the energy that was needed in order to get that product. Energy can only be transferred from one thing to another, ladies and gentlemen. So those of you that are asking for the Green New Deal, you better get ready to face the consequences, because it's going to affect you as well. That iPhone that you have in your hand while you're tweeting out whatever it is that you tweet about how terrible people that drive SUVs or gas-powered vehicles are, that phone in itself was produced using energy. This means that people living paycheck to paycheck with no savings or other safety nets will have to make abrupt lifestyle changes. Cancel everything. In my opinion, if you cannot afford to be prepared, if you cannot afford to have a year's supply of food, cancel everything that you don't need. And prep up, ladies and gentlemen, because this is getting worse. This is not going to get any easier. You better be ready for a next 10 to 20 years of this kind of news. Because even if they do change the financial and or monetary system, ladies and gentlemen, we the people never benefit from those changes. We don't benefit from inflation, and we definitely don't benefit whenever they change the system to something else than what it is now. It will be those that make the policies, those that want to rule over us, that will benefit. According to the AAA, 59% of Americans are making lifestyle changes as the national average for regular gasoline at the pump hits a new record of $4.31. If gas hits $5, 3/4 of the respondents said they would need to make lifestyle changes to offset the spike at the pump. Among the respondents who said they would make changes in response to higher prices, 80% of them said they would drive fewer miles, with some differences among different generations. And I've talked about this in the past as well. They're constructing the society that they want by making your actions reflect what their policies want your actions to reflect, ladies and gentlemen. They're pretty much telling you what you will do without really telling you. Why? Because inflation is a tax. It is a direct way that they can implement a change in your behavior. And you're seeing it in action right now. 80% said that if gas goes up to $5 a gallon, that they'll have to drive less. What is the goal of this Green New Deal, ladies and gentlemen? Think about it. All you have to do is think about what's going on and not stay tunnel vision on one thing. And look at this. $7.35 a gallon of gasoline. Gas price this morning at a station in West Hollywood. Premium is just under $8 a gallon. Incredible. And I understand that some of our friends, across the pond and in other countries, they're going to say, well, we already pay $8 a gallon here, equivalent. Understood, ladies and gentlemen. Thing is that this does make up a larger percentage of what people that are just working, the working poor, it makes up a larger percentage of their income. All right, so the working poor are now going to have to give up even more in order to just be able to stay poor. Since the Russian invasion on Ukraine, gas prices have risen more than 74 cents to $4.31 per gallon, a record high. This administration has launched a media blitz to blame soaring prices on Putin. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let them fool you, all right? All right? It doesn't matter who is in office. We are in a catch-22. There's nothing that they can do to stop what's going on. There's nothing they can do about it. Gas prices will remain high, and they're going to continue to go up. I think oil has taken a little bit of a dump in the last couple of days. I think it's under $110 a barrel right now, where it reached about 130 or something like that in the middle of this week. However, no, don't even think that we're going to go back down anywhere to normal, to normal levels that we're used to. We're going to be paying higher gas prices. And if they do come down some, they'll come down some, but not back to where they used to be. You better consider this your next new normal. However, when the president was elected, gas prices averaged around $2.30 and jumped $1.23 over the last year before the attack several weeks back. That means prices jumped 53% even before the invasion. But the administration insists their messaging that President Putin is responsible for why prices of everything is rising. Don't let them fool you, ladies and gentlemen. The policies that these lawmakers make don't affect them. All right? Name me one lawmaker that's worried about having to drive. Name me one lawmaker that's worried about having to lose their home. Heck, most of them probably have 2 or 3 or 4 homes. Name me one lawmaker that is worried about putting food on the table of their family. Just name me one. Because it is not they that suffer. We are the ones that suffer. We are the ones that have to live with the consequences of their decisions. And this, what you're looking at right here, is a direct consequence of the decisions of the people that are supposed to be representing we the people. If you think that they represent us, then you have a lot to learn, or you have a lot of life left to live. Because they do not represent us. They govern us. That's it. So you better be preparing, because this ain't going to get any better anytime soon. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you very much for joining in today. Things are just not going to get any better, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a pessimist by nature, and that here I am sitting here telling you things are not going to get any better. At least anytime soon, in the near future, and I mean in the years to come. And me, by nature, I am an optimist. But what I would ask is, do your own research. Let me ask you something. Do you think you have a choice of whether you can change what is happening right now or not? Do you think you have a choice of whether what's happening right now you can change? Do you think you have a choice on that? No, you don't. So prepare for what's coming and what's already here. Because if you're not prepared for what's already here, then you're definitely not prepared for what's coming. And what's coming is going to be a lot worse. Trust me when I tell you, the United States of America, unless there's a miracle, unless some kind of a miracle occurs, the United States of America will be a third world country. We will be a third world country. The world will abandon us. We have overstepped the luxury of being the world reserve currency. We have overstepped that luxury and we have abused that luxury. And now what happens? The world will abandon us, ladies and gentlemen, and you can see it happening already. So you better prepare for what's coming.